Hello students, welcome to my channel. In this video, I am going to discuss the most important questions on Indian polity. 50 MCQs are discussed in this video. These questions are very important for exam perspective. These questions are oftenly asked in many competitive exams. So be with this video till the end. If you didn't subscribe my channel yet, please hit the subscribe button. Click the bell icon so that you can get the notification of my new videos. Let us start from the first question. Which part of the Constitution of India provides for the directive principles of a state policy? Directive principles are one of the most important topics of Indian polity. Directive principles are mentioned in Part 4 of the Indian Constitution. So the correct option for this question is option B. Let us know some important facts about the directive principles. The directive principles are mentioned from Article 36 to Article 51 in the Indian Constitution. Directive principles are fundamental to the governance of the country and it shall be the duty of the state to apply these principles in making laws. The directive principles are not justifiable. This is one of the most important facts about the directive principles, that directive principles are not justifiable, whereas the fundamental rights are justifiable. Who was appointed as India's first Lokpal in 2019? The correct option is option B, Pinaki Chandra Ghosh. Lokpal and Lokayuktas are also one of the most important topics for the exam perspective. Let us know some important facts about the Lokpal and the Lokayuktas so that you can attempt many direct as well as indirect questions related to this topic. The Lokpal and Lokayuktas Act was passed in 2013. Retired Supreme Court Judge Pinaki Chandra Ghosh was appointed as the first Lokpal of India by a committee consisting of Prime Minister Narendra Modi and Chief Justice of India Ranjan Gogoi and Speaker of the Lok Sabha Sumitra Mahajan on 23rd March 2019. This committee is also important for the exam perspective. Pradeep Kumar Mohanty became the second chairperson of Lokpal, assumed office on 28th May 2022. Concurrent list in the Constitution refers to legislative, administrative and financial matters over which concurrent list is related to the Parliament as well as the state legislative assemblies. So the correct option for this question is option D. Both the central and state governments have jurisdiction. There are three lists in the Indian Constitution for the lawmaking. First is Union List. For Union List, the Parliament makes the laws. Second is a State List. For a State List, the state legislative assemblies make the laws. Third is Concurrent List. For Concurrent List, the both Central Parliament as well as the state legislative assemblies have jurisdiction to make the laws. Let us know some important facts about the concurrent list. Concurrent list is taken from Australian Constitution. The concurrent list is also known as List 3. It is mentioned in 7th schedule. It is a list of 52 items. Previously, it was the list of 47 items. It includes the power to be considered by both the union and state government. Means whatever items are mentioned in concurrent list, the parliament and the state legislative assemblies have jurisdiction to make the laws on those topics. Through the 42nd Amendment Act of 1976, 5 subjects were transferred from state to concurrent list. They are education, forest, weights and measures, protection of wild animals and birds, and administration of justice. These facts are very important for the exam perspective. In which case the Supreme Court of India gave the verdict that the power of the President to dismiss a state government is not absolute. This was S.R. Bombay versus Union of India 1994. S.R. Bombay versus Union of India 1994 is the landmark decision of the Supreme Court in which the court extensively explored the terms of Article 356 of the Indian Constitution and related matters. The central-state relations were greatly impacted by this case. The President can remove a member of Union Cabinet on the advice of Prime Minister. Option B. According to the constitutional provisions, Article 74(1) stated that there shall be a Council of Ministers with the Prime Minister at the head to aid and advise the President in the exercise of his functions. However, there was a slight ambiguity whether the advice of the Council of Ministers is binding on the President. For this, two amendments were done. These amendments are very important for the exam perspective. The 42nd Amendment 1976 made it explicit that the President shall act in accordance with such advice. The amendment went into effect from 3rd January 1977. The 44th Amendment 1978, however, added that the President can send the advice back for consideration once. But if the Council of Ministers sends the same advice again to the President, then the President must accept it. The amendment went into effect from 20 June 1979. A judge of the Supreme Court of India can be removed from office by. Options are given to you. The correct option is option C. President of India when both the houses of parliament approved such removal with two-thirds majority. This process is known as the impeachment process. Even though the Constitution does not contain the term impeachment, it is commonly used to describe the processes under Article 124 for the removal of a Supreme Court judge and 218 for the removal of a High Court judge. The minimum age for becoming a candidate for Rajya Sabha election is 30 years. Option C is the correct option. Let us know some important eligibility criteria for the member of Rajya Sabha. According to Article 84 of the Constitution, the member of Rajya Sabha should be an Indian national, should be at least 30 years older, should possess the additional credentials required in this regard by any law passed by Parliament. What was the major ground on which proclamation of emergency was made in 1975? This was the threat to the security of India. It was the first time when the emergency was imposed on the basis of threat to the security of India or the internal disturbance. Let us know some important facts about this topic because this topic is very important for the exam perspective. The emergency was declared by President Fakhruddin Ali Ahmed in accordance with Article 352 of the Constitution as was in place starting on June 25, 1975 and it ended on March 21st, 1977 due to the internal disturbance that was taking place at the time. It was the first time when the emergency was imposed on the basis of internal disturbance. In accordance with Article 352, the President may proclaim a national emergency if war, external aggression, or armed revolt threatens the security of all or a portion of India. Internal disturbance was replaced with the phrase armed rebellion by the 44th Amendment Act of 1978. These facts are very important for the exam perspective, so you must know about these facts about the proclamation of emergency which was made in 1975. The President of India is elected by the members of The President of India is elected through the Electoral College. This Electoral College consisted of the elected members of the Parliament as well as the state legislative assemblies. So the correct option for this question is option B, elected members of the Parliament and state legislative assemblies. Match list 1 election slogan with list 2 party coalition and choose the correct option given below. India signing. This was the famous slogan of National Democratic Alliance. Ma Mati Manus. This slogan was given by Trinamool Congress. Achhe Din. It was given by Bharatiya Janata Party. Ab Hoga Nyay. It was the famous slogan of Indian National Congress. So the correct option is option D. National Commission to review the working of the Constitution was headed by M. N. Venkatchalaya. Let us know some important facts. The NDA government of India, headed by Atal Bihari Vajpayee, established the National Commission to review the working of the Constitution, also known as the Justice Manapalli Narayana Rao Venkatchalaya Commission, on February 22, 2000 to make recommendations for potential amendments to the Indian Constitution. Social and religious life cannot be separated easily in the Indian context, especially since religion covers almost every aspect from birth to death. Who among the following is the final authority to draw the line between matters of religious nature and secular activities in India? This is Judiciary of India. Whether Presidential Proclamation under Article 356 was justiciable, and if so, to what extent? Whether the dissolved legislature can be revived if the proclamation is set aside? Whether the validity of the proclamation can be challenged after it has been approved by Parliament? In which of the following court cases were these questions asked? These questions were asked in S.R. Bombay versus Union of India. This was one of the major landmark decisions of the Supreme Court. In this case, many of the important changes were done in Article 356. Article 356 is related to the presidential rule in India. Such articles will never be called into operation and they would remain a dead letter. If at all they are brought into operation, I hope the President, who is endowed with these powers, will take proper precautions before actually suspending the administration of the provinces. This is the famous statement given by B.R. Ambedkar. Which article of the Indian Constitution does this speech refer to? Article 356. Match the names in list 1 with issues in list 2 and choose a correct answer. Rind Sachar. It is related to status of Muslim community. M.S. Livahan. He is related to Babri Masjid demolition. J.C. Shah, national emergency. G.T. Nanavati, anti-Sikh riots. So the correct option is option C. Who is the chairman of 15th Finance Commission? N.K. Singh. Match the following books with their authors. Hind Swaraj. Hind Swaraj is the famous book of M.K. Gandhi. Discovery of India. It is authored by Jawaharlal Nehru. The Annihilation of Caste, it is the famous book of B.R. Ambedkar. So the correct option is option B. In which of the following landmark cases did the Supreme Court uphold reservation for backward classes in government jobs, fix 50% limit for reservation, put forward the concept of creamy layer, and strike down the demand for reservation for financially poor section among the forward classes? Indra Sawhney and Others versus Union of India 1992. Consider the following statements about pardon in Indian Constitution. Let us see the statement one by one. Both the President of India and Governor can grant pardon. This is correct. While the President can grant pardon to punishment offered by a court martial, the Governor is not empowered to do so. This is also correct. While the President is empowered to grant pardon to death penalty awarded for offences committed, the Governor is not empowered to do so. This is also correct. So the correct option is option A. Consider the following statements about money bill. Money bill can be introduced in either house of the Parliament of India. This is not correct because money bill can be introduced only in the Lok Sabha. Money bill can be introduced only in the Lok Sabha. This is correct. The Rajya Sabha has the power to delay money bill for a maximum period of 14 days. This is also correct. So the correct option for this question is option 2 and 3. C option is the correct option. Consider the following statements. The Council of Ministers regularly renders aid and advice to the President of India. This is correct. The President can return advice rendered by the Council of Ministers for reconsideration only once. This is also correct. Any written advice rendered twice by the Council of Ministers to the President of India on the same manner is binding on the latter. This is also correct. So the correct option for this question is option C. In this question, statements are given. You have to select whether the statement is correct or not. Vital statistics, including registration of births and deaths, is a list to state list of the 7th schedule. This is not correct because this is mentioned in list 3, concurrent list of the 7th schedule. Social security and social insurance, employment and unemployment are in list 3, concurrent list of the 7th schedule. This is correct. So option D is the correct option. A is false but B is true. Which of the following is true about protective discrimination in India? Let us see the statement one by one. It favors special provisions for women and children. This is correct. It provides for reservation of jobs for scheduled tribes, caste and other backward classes. This is also correct. While it allows reservation of jobs, it does not extend reservation in promotion of jobs to OBCs. This is also correct. So the correct option for this question is option D, all of the above. The sixth schedule, which deals with the administration of tribal area, is applicable to this schedule is applicable to Assam, Meghalaya, Tripura and Mizoram. So the correct option is option B. Let us know some important facts. In accordance with the sixth schedule, a few tribal regions are allowed to operate independently. According to Articles 244(2) and 275(1) of the Indian Constitution, the sixth schedule's provisions are applicable. Consider the following statements on Indian secularism. Let us see the statement one by one. It accords respect to all religions and treats them equally in the public sphere. This is correct. It does not prevent the state from addressing retrograde religious practices. This is also correct. So the correct option for this question is option A, both 1 and 2. Let us know some important facts about the preamble of the Indian Constitution. In the preamble of Indian Constitution, only one changes was done. It was done in 1976 after 42nd Amendment of the Constitution. Three words were introduced in the preamble of the Indian Constitution. These words were socialist, secular, and integrity. The minimum age for a person to be eligible for appointment as governor is 35 years. This is same as the President of India. According to Article 157 of the Constitution of India, no person shall be eligible for appointment as governor unless he is a citizen of India and has completed the age of 35 years. A new All India service can be created by a resolution under Article 312 of the Constitution. So option C is the correct option. Let us know some important facts about this topic. The All India services, including All India Judicial Service, can be created by the Parliament of India if the Rajya Sabha passes a resolution declaring that it is essential in the interest of the nation. The three All India services under UPSC are Indian Administrative Service, the Indian Police Service, and the Indian Forest Service. Consider the statement according to Article 51. It shall be the duty of every citizen of India to protect and improve the natural environment, including forests, lakes, rivers, and wildlife, and to have compassion for living creatures. This is correct. The Supreme Court in some judgments has ruled that as the fundamental duties are obligatory on citizens, the state should also observe them. This is also correct. So the correct statements are A and B. The purpose of voter-verifiable paper audit trial is to enable a voter to verify whether his/her vote was cast correctly. Option A. A technique for providing feedback to voters using a ballotless voting system is the voter verifiable paper audit trial or verified paper record. After the recommendation of which committee, the Election Commission of India was made a three-member body. Options are Tarkunde Committee, Balwantrai Mehta Committee, Jeevan Reddy Committee, Ashok Mehta Committee. The correct option is Tarkunde Committee. In 1974, Jayaprakash Narayan created the JP Committee or Tarkunde Committee, which was headed by V.M. Tarkunde, to research and report on the election reform plan. Now the statement-based question. You have to select the correct statement. Statement A. The Election Commission of India is a multi-commission with a Chief Election Commissioner and two additional election commissioners. The Chief Election Commissioner is the preeminent head of the election machinery. This is the correct statement. Statement B. The powers of the election commissioners are coordinate and co-equal since all decisions in principle and in practice are to be taken by consensus or majority vote. This is also the correct statement. So the correct option for this question is option B. A and B are true. Let us know some important facts about this topic. This topic is very important topic. You can solve many direct as well as indirect questions related to this topic by knowing these facts. There was only one chief election commissioner of the commission when it was started in 1950. On October 16, 1989, two extra commissioners were added to the commission for the first time. However, they took so long to begin working. On the Commission's rule that the President decided to eliminate the position of election commissioners on January 1st, 1990. This is also one of the most important facts about this topic. On October 1st, 1993, the administration once more established a three-member election commission. The commission became a multi-member organization as a result of the Election Commissioner Amendment Act of 1989. Since then, the idea of a three-person commission has been in use with vote casting the bulk of the decision. On February 28, 1998, the official website was launched. The 123rd Constitutional Amendment Act provides constitutional status to options are National Commission for Women, National Commission for Water Distribution, National Commission for Minorities, National Commission for Backward Classes. The correct option is National Commission for Backward Classes. According to Article 340 of the Indian Constitution, President shall establish a commission to examine the condition of social and backward classes. Indira Gandhi declared internal emergency between the internal emergency imposed by Indira Gandhi is also one of the most important topics of Indian polity. It was imposed during 1975 to 1977. So correct option is option B. The emergency was formally declared by President Fakhruddin Ali Ahmad under Article 352 of the Constitution as a result of ongoing internal disturbance and was in place from June 25, 1975 to March 21st, 1977. Who among the following was the temporary chairman of the Constituent Assembly? Sachidananda Sinha. Option A. Later, Dr. Rajendra Prasad became the permanent chairman of the Constituent Assembly. Devolution means grant of power by an upper level of government to a lower one. Option B. A catch-all party means a political party based on the support of different views and ideologies. Which of the following is not the function of parliament? Let us see the options. To form or end the government. This is the function of the parliament. To represent the electorate. This is also one of the most important functions of the parliament. To legislate. It is also one of the most important functions of the parliament. To interpret the laws. This is not the function of the parliament. This is the function of the judiciary. So the correct option is option C. The objectives resolution in the Constituent Assembly was moved by Jawaharlal Nehru. So the correct option is option A, Jawaharlal Nehru. Let us know some important facts about this question. The objective resolution was moved on December 13, 1946 by Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru. This date is very important. And January 22nd, 1947, the Constituent Assembly passed the resolution, which provided the philosophy and guiding principles for framing the Constitution and later took the form of Preamble of the Constitution of India. Provincial autonomy began with Government of India Act. The provincial autonomy began by the 1935 Government India Act. Red tapism refers to rigid conformity to formal rules and regulations. Match the following political leaders with the political party they are associated with. Karnad Sangma, he is associated with National People's Party. Anbhumani Ramadas, he is related to Pattali Makhal Kachi. Prem Singh Tamang is associated with Sikkim Krantikari Morcha. Thal Tirubhal Lavan is related to Vidyuthalai Chiruthagal Kachi. So the correct option is option B. Ethics in governance is one of the reports of the it is one of the important reports of the second Administrative Reforms Commission. So the correct option is option D. Let us know some important facts. Under the leadership of Sri Veerappa Moyali, the second Administrative Reforms Commission was established on August 31st, 2005 as the Commission of Inquiry with the goal of developing a comprehensive plan for reforming the public administrative system. Who is the chairman of Niti Aayog? The Prime Minister of India is the chairman of Niti Aayog. On January 1st, 2015, a cabinet resolution was passed to replace the Planning Commission with the newly formed Niti Aayog, National Institution for Transforming India. The first meeting of Niti Aayog was chaired by Narendra Modi on 8th February 2015. Who supported Dunkel Draft and Get? Setkari Sangathan. Which of the following Constitutional Amendment Act provides the rotation system of reservation in local body elections? Local bodies are related to 73rd and 74th Amendment Act. So the correct option for this question is option C, 73rd Amendment Act. 73rd Amendment Act is related to Panchayati Raj system and 74th Amendment Act is related to the municipalities. On 24th April 1993, the Constitution 73rd Amendment Act went into effect. It was passed in 1992. The Act gave state governments the authority to take the necessary actions to formalize Gram Panchayats and enable them to function as self-governing entities. Ambedkar converted to Buddhism along with his followers in Nagpur. Option B. Ambedkar openly converted to Buddhism on October 14, 1956 at Dikshabhumi, Nagpur, more than 20 years after he first stated his intention to do so. He had previously written a number of books and essays in which he said that Buddhism was the only path to equality for the untouchables. The Citizens Charter is based on the following principles: wide publicity on the standards of performance of public agencies, assured quality of services, access to information, simplified grievance redressal. A, B, C, D, all options are correct. Option B is the correct option. A citizen charter is a document which represents a systematic effort to focus on the commitment of the organization towards its citizens in respect of a standard of services, information, choice and consultation, non-discrimination and accessibility, grievance redress, courtesy and value for money. Traditional mechanism of accountability are CAG, Public Accounts Committee, corruption controlling agencies like Central Vigilance Commission, social audit. Social audit is not included in this. So the correct option is option B. Democratic deficit concerns with declining levels of citizens' trust in political institutions, primacy of form over substance, shift from representative democracy to participatory democracy. Democratic deficit is a term used to denote a situation where institutions and their decision-making procedures may suffer from a lack of democracy and accountability. In the case of the European Union, it refers to a perceived lack of accessibility or lack of representation of the ordinary citizen with respect to the European Union institutions, a sense of there being a gap between the powers of those institutions and a perceived inability of citizens to influence those institutions' decisions. Whistleblowers Protection Bill became a law in which of the following years? In 2014. The act of corruption, a deliberate abuse of authority or judgment, or a criminal conduct by a public employee can all be reported under the Whistleblowers Protection Act of 2014. Thank you for watching.